Hello everyone, I'm Nathan Caldwell and welcome to the Brewsier State. The date of July 18th, 2015 was a very significant date in the annals of Indiana microbrewers. It's the day that the Brewers of Indiana Guild celebrated 20 years of the Indiana Microbrewers Festival. We got a chance to talk to some of the people involved and ask why it's gotten this far.
I think it says a lot about Indiana beer and Indiana craft beer, what has been going on ever since John Hill opened up Broad Ripple Brew Pub, and especially within the last 5 years, how things have grown throughout Indianapolis Metro, and then throughout the state of Indiana. You can go anywhere in Indiana and find really, really good beer. I would say absolutely people are having a good time. Unlike maybe a craft beer event as opposed to other beer festivals. You know, you're going to find people that don't come in here with an attitude, that are willing to, if they bump into each other, they say, "Excuse me." You know, everybody is friendly. They're one and the same in the beer community here. Everybody's about having a good time, tasting beer. So I think that definitely there is a difference with the craft beer community and how they respond. They're responsible, as they drink throughout the day. But I think that the biggest thing is everyone having a great time together.
So what brought you out to the 20th annual Indiana Microbrewers Festival?
Well, the 20th's my favorite number, and then beer is the sixth food group in my food pyramid, so why not?
Awesome. So do you have any favorites so far that you've tasted already?
Yeah, I think all of them are really respectable. The IPAs are pretty good. They're making me feel really hungry, so those pretzel necklaces are really, really doing well, except I haven't bought one yet. I'm just eating random people's.
Well, I'm a Hoosier native. I've been gone for the past 2 years, but this stuff has blown up a lot since I've been gone. It's good to see. More breweries, more diversity. If there's more things to try, and you're never going to finish your day unhappy.
I've tasted a lot of beer in my day. I'm only 25, and I think I've drank as much as a 40-year-old average guy. But you know what? Three Floyds, Bare Hands, you got Mash Craft local guys, you got Blackacre, Irvington local guys. We got some great beer going on, man. Great beer. I think it's cool because you got a lot of friends coming with you. You got a big group. You meet new people that have the same interests as you. You got a good environment. You got water. You got Uber. You got the safety factor with it. Nobody's driving home drunk, So everybody's drinking good beer. There's good people. I mean, it's a good environment altogether, man. So how can you not like it?
And so now, at their very core, would you say like a brewery is a small business? I mean, is that part of the kind of genuine? I mean, what would your impression be on that?
I do think so. I think you can see not just Indianapolis, Indiana, or throughout the country, a brewery that opens up in a whatever community just adds life. It adds a vibe to that community, and it brings back life to that community. Here in town, Blackacre's done it. Fountain Square has done it. Scarlet Lane in McCordsville is going to do that. They've already started it. So I think a community brewery that people can go to and call their own is fantastic for that individual community. It only grows, and businesses want to be a part of that, and it brings it together.
You were around before this festival started. It's been 20 years now for the festival, and then you guys have been here each time. So what does that mean for you?
Well, we'll be 25 November 14th, so that's kind of huge to us. John Hill actually kind of helped start all of this festival, and many more to come. He helped start the guild, so if it wasn't, not to be blasphemous, but if it wasn't for us and the brew pub, and if it wasn't for John Hill and everything he's done for the state, changing laws, getting festivals started, getting the guild started, we probably would not be here today if it wasn't for him.
Now, you've been involved. I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to get a younger brewery, someone who's just starting out, and then get the oldest brewing company, at least currently operating, which would be Broad Ripple Brew Pub. Talk to a gentleman from there. That is a place that you've been before, and you've brewed there before. So what are your impressions of just the history now of this coming almost full circle for you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, I spent time at Broad Ripple, both working in the restaurant and in the brewery. John Hill is the unofficial godfather of brewing here in Indiana in terms of, especially brew pubs. John really was the first guy to put together the restaurant with the small brewery, and you know, he did it in a way that would work with the law at the time. We were fortunate enough to get the first permit to operate, basically allowing us to sell beer by the pint as a manufacturer. So yeah, you know, it's great. We've got guys now that have come through. You know, I came through Broad Ripple. We've got guys that have come through the Lafayette Brewing Company now that own breweries here in Indiana. DJ McAllister operates Black Swan. Chris Johnson operates Peoples. So you know, the legacy continues, so to speak.
I merely just have the pleasure of being able to come in and brew what hopefully everybody thinks is delicious beer, and you know, for me, that's a huge privilege. You know, to be the sixth brewer there, and to just kind of claim my space and do what I do on a daily basis, and that's just, you know, make good beer, move good beer, and serve good beer.
What do you think about this being the 20th festival? It's come a long way, hasn't it? Have you been here before?
Oh, we have. We went to the one last year. It was a good time. I think this one's better, more food, which is clutch. I think this can continue for 30 more years, and then it's gonna rock the house.
Hi, Internet.
I think it's wide open. I mean, not only the small brewers, but you know, we're seeing farmers getting interested growing hops, growing small grains, barley, putting up malting houses, you know, putting together oast houses to dry and pelletize hops. It's unlimited for right now. I think, you know, every small town can have a brewery. I mean, they don't all have to be big distributing breweries, and there's certainly guys out there that are going to do that, but there's also a niche for little guys that are going to open in smaller towns. I've been out on the West Coast and been into towns with 300 people that have their own brewery, you know, so and doing well and staying busy. So, you know, I think there's plenty of room to grow here in Indiana. You know, I mean, it's a beer festival. You know, does it get better than that as a job? I mean, I have people say to me every day, "You have the best job in the world," and you know, yeah, it's a good gig. I would be here if it wasn't fun. It's a lot of work, you know. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of things to do, particularly when you're working day to day in the brewery. But yeah, you know, we get to do stuff like this for trade shows, so it really doesn't get a lot better than that.
So a final thought. Is 20 years of a festival a measure of success? Well, festivals really only exist because of great interest in a certain subject. And I think 20 years of increasing attendance at the Indiana Microbrewers Festival is clear evidence that microbrewing is a very, very strong industry here in this state. Thank you for watching. If you want to get a hold of us, there's an email address in the description portion of this video right below the video player on this page. Thank you again, and until next time, cheers.